How do we make teaching and learning easier? Well, I'm Jared Van, board certified behavior analyst, PhD student in special education and precision teacher. I'm going to show you how to make teaching and learning easier. These are learning channels. I taught about them briefly before, but they're going to help us describe what behavior we're measuring. Let's start with the basics. Everybody wants to make sure their students know how to read, write, and do arithmetic. So let's start with reading. When we talk about what we want our student to read, we usually want them to see the word and then say the word. To measure how fluent they are, and fluency is the combination of accuracy and speed, we're going to see within 1 minute how many words they can see and say. Once we are able to calculate that, then we can have a baseline of starting to increase so that once they have better fluency, the behavior becomes more easy, more simple, and it seems effortless. Let's move on to writing. Now with writing, we typically want them to see and then write the word, like if they're taking notes. But we also want them to be able to hear a word and then write the word, which is a different in and out altogether. Well, different in. And sometimes writing assignments, we want them to think or free a word and then write the word. So they're going to have different speeds with all of these. So we need to understand when we're taking like a spelling test, if they're hearing a word and writing a word, that's going to be completely different than if they're seeing and writing. For instance, if you want to increase the speed with which your student writes so they can keep up with notes, you could do a little race where they race the clock. They have 1 minute, they write their ABCs A to Z. Once they get to Z, they go back to A. Within 1 minute, how many letters can they get? If they do 57, try to go again and get 58. Now let's move on to arithmetic. Usually we want them to see a multiplication or addition problem and then write the answer. But sometimes we hear the multiplication or times tables and then we want to say the answer. Those are going to have different speeds because they're different ins and outs. With arithmetic, one of the best ways to teach is using math fact families. Math fact families is when you recognize that addition and subtraction are just inverse operations, just like multiplication and division. They're just inverse operations. For instance, 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. All these things go together, so we need to teach these families together so we can have better fluency, which is accuracy and speed. I'm Jared Van, PhD student in special education. Use your learning channels when teaching and learning.